Sorry about. Hello, welcome. I was opening the shade to let the darkness in. Really, 5:42 a.m. Central Daylight Time, November 2nd, All Souls Day. Welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Well, after today, we'll have daylight at this time because it'll really be 5:42, not 4:42. But called 5:42. Okay, now they have 7 states that want to permanently make daylight savings time. I said they must be. I don't know who those 7 states are. All right, anyway. From 1957, Highland Miss imported Scotch whiskey. It's bottled by Barton Brands of Chicago, Illinois, but that's owned by Sazerac for the last 10 years. They are owned by Sazerac. A blend of Highland, Lowland, Islay, and Speyside whiskeys. So it's got all of them. And then be probably about 80% grain whiskey, but the flavor is going to come from the those single malts. I said it was aged 3 years, but I don't actually see a date. But that's the minimum, and you just know they're not going above the minimum. And you notice, man, now imported from Scotland, Seagram's, but in the United States it's not called Seagram's. Overseas it's called Seagram's 100 Pipers. But here it's just called 100 Pipers Blended Scotch Whiskey, distilled and blended in Scotland. But it's bottled by Piper's Import Company, Heaven Hill, of Bardstown, Kentucky, 80 proof. Then there's like a whole story on the back about there's no age statement here either, although I guess it's 3 years, but they're talking about its distinctive, smooth, yet subtly smoky taste is appreciated by connoisseurs around the world. Oh, here it is. This fine whiskey is 3 years old. Okay, so they do have the age statement. Sorry, I got like an essay on the back. There is a website listing for this. I put it below. It's from Chivas Brothers, which is part of Pernod-Ricard. It says Chivas Brothers, Pernod-Ricard. It is named after the Battle of Culloden in 1745. But they have a different bottle design overseas. It's a more, it's got a metal cap, more stately looking bottle. Same kind of theme with the pipers. But the bottles we get here is just the standard Heaven Hill bottle. See, same as the Heaven Hill Kentucky blended American whiskey, same as the Mellow Corn 100 proof. Okay. And if you click, you can go to the 100 Pipers actual website, but it's not much on there, and it's for India. It's an Indian website. It's not much. There's a 12-year. This is the deluxe, and there's a 12-year age. What are some other Scotch brands that Pernod-Ricard makes? I'll read them to you. Chivas Regal, Ballantine's, the Glenlivet, Royal Salute, Aberlour, Longmorn, Scapa, Clan Campbell. Oh, hair is falling in my face. Something Special, and Passport Scotch. I've seen the Passport, but I'm not fool with that hair. It's like in my eyes, like Gary Newman. You are in my vision. I've seen the Passport, but I want to get the glass bottle. I don't want the big plastic bottle. And I know they have the glass bottles around here in Louisiana, but it's rare. You know, it's like I'm not going to get Passport glass too easily. I can get the plastic. I know who's got that. Okay. The Thursday, earlier this week, Thursday's Taste Challenge was a fiasco because I was so confident. And I was like, this is Highland Mist. It's way better. You know, blah, 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 going on and on and on until the break of dawn. And then I looked at the label, the tag, and I was like, oh, it's the King Robert II. So I was picking on, here, let me drink the rest of this coffee and chicory. Coffee and chicory, yeah, from Louisiana. So I was saying bad things about King Robert II Scotch, and I was wrong. It was the good one. And Highland Mist tastes like a bunch of cereal grain. It didn't taste much different than a cheap American blended whiskey. You say, well, it's just a cheap Scotch, blended Scotch whiskey. You're right. It was $5.99 for that bottle. $5.99, golly gee. That's right. Now the 100 Pipers was $8.99. It's about $9.99 now. I bought it years ago. But you can still find it cheap, though. You can still find it cheap. Cheap. So Tweety says, cheers. Cheers to you. So HM, that's Highland Mist. Highland Mist. I have some water in the glass that I rinsed them. So Highland Mist. Put a little there. See, it's gold. It's gold. It's the color gold. And 100 Pipers. That made a little pop when I opened it. It went, psh. There was a pressure release. Now, I know I'm not a scientist. I took science classes, but that's, and I passed them. But that, people say, and I'm sure it's true, the liquor will not age in the bottle. It does not ferment. It's a dead item after it comes out the barrel. It's not going to change. But it is strange, though, where I open some of these and they hiss. And you can hear the pressure release. Like a psh. So if nothing's going on in the liquor bottle, why is there a pressure release when I open it? It's just making me think, because like that's what happens when you have a carbonation buildup. And why would you have that? An increase of of gases after you opened it already. You see, so I can't explain it because, like I said, I'm not a scientist. All right, so here we go. I'll mix them up. Got to stop at the top of the hour for the WDSU Channel 6 News. It's cold outside. Not like really cold, but it's cold enough. That's how it is around here. You go from 90 degrees and then all of a sudden it's cold. And it's bad in a way because it makes for bad storms. When you have that very cold air hitting the hot air from the Gulf of Mexico, they have violent storms. A big cold front, and then you have tornadoes and all of that. We didn't get that, but we had so much rain on this Gulf coastal plain. All right. So then your sinuses will get all messed up. Plus, we got chemical plants around here: DuPont, Nalco, Marathon, Shell Chemical, Shell. So that might not help. Industrial corridor between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, and below New Orleans and above Baton Rouge along the river. They can't really get away from it. Everybody I talk to at work, I'm like, you sick? No. Their nose. Okay. And they're not really like with a cold, but they just, it's the humidity. It's so bad. This smells pretty bland, like kind of, it smells like distilled, fermented cereal grains. Think of corn, barley, wheat, and rye. And that's pretty much what you've got. Now, it's not Scotch, it's like grain whiskey, which is corn whiskey. In America, we call that grain spirits, corn spirits. And then it's column still. Then they'll use 20% copper pot stilled, like quality single malt whiskey. It's made with barley malt. That gives it the flavor. And then you got the different regions of Scotland got different characteristics. Some smoky, some more peaty, some more, all of that. Now, so and the blending is the real difficult part. You got to know what you're doing. The blend. Even with a cheap one like Highland Mist, they want to blend. They've got these blending masters. They're really good at it because they make a lot of money putting out this like budget-based Scotch. I mean, it's a big business, so it's all automated in a way. It's just like factory, like brr, 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 coming out, sending it to all over the world. It's not handcrafted because you would never have the production ability if it was handcrafted. Or the consistency. There's a little sweetness there. What about smoke, peat? Nah. You can tell it's Scotch from like a background ability, but it's not too prevalent. It's kind of reminding me of the Dewar's White Label, which I only had once. This guy, not really my friend, like an acquaintance down the street, Robert, he just loves to drink it, and he likes the 12-year. But this is kind of like that, just kind of basic. Well, let's go over here before time gets away. I think there's more smoke. I forgot to look at the color. Well, maybe that's good. But I believe the 100 pipe is a little darker. There's not much smoke though. But then what did they say on the bottle? Subtle smokiness. Some subdued grains and more dark. It's a more gloomy approach. This one is more bright, like kind of in your face, like a siren. Like, okay, we get it. It's cereal. Now we'll taste. See, once I get the handle on Highland Mist, I don't think I'm gonna get it wrong. I mean, I might get screwed up against like Piper Dean because that's kind of like this, kind of bland and nothing. Not bad. It's just like nothing to it. And so somebody told me I love Piper Dean. I drink that all the time. That's my standby Scotch. It's fine if you like it. Paying $6.50 a bottle doesn't bother me. But to sit there and try to pick out a lot of interesting flavors and aromas and delicate textures here and there, it doesn't have that at all. Let's go over here. There's noticeable smokiness. It is subtle, but it's there right out front. It's coming across like this. And it slowly tails off. And then you get the underlying cereal grains and the malt. You get a little bread dough from the single malt. It's like a bread dough. You get that a lot with the Cutty Sark. Cutty Sark have a lot of bread dough flavor. I've had people tell me, you wouldn't like that Scotch, that single malt, because it's so smoky. And I'm like, no, I like that kind of stuff. Okay. When people are smoking, they have a smoker going and they got beef and pork and it's sausage and it's smoking on the grill. Yeah, I like that. So why would I dislike it? I mean, that would not bother me. But it probably would bother other people. There is some peatiness, but peatiness is not the calling card of 100 Pipers. It's the smokiness. And it's a lot more smoky than you may believe, or a lot smokier than you may first believe. So what I recommend on 100 Pipers, yes, I think it's a good stand. It actually can hold its own. It's not just a mixer, like I'm mixing it. It's all junk. No, that is not the case. I would love to try the 12-year age, but I've never seen it. $8.99 a bottle. That might be the best deal for scotch in the world. And I am not kidding. Because well, now, I forgot about Clan McGregor. But Clan McGregor's $9.79 a bottle. Okay, so it's more. It costs more. Clan McGregor has its own characteristics, which are more peat oriented, and the baked apple and the wax, the candle wax. So but for $8.99 a bottle, if you're lucky, you're probably not going to be, but you never know. Yeah, it's a great value. Oh man, 100 Pipers, been around for 55 years. It's sort of a legend. Yeah, it's a legendary scotch named after a legendary event. Kind of a lost cause event, this House of Stuart. And in the South, we know about lost causes down in Louisiana. Yeah, there's a little bitiness to it, to be frank. In the mid sip, kind of catch you on your tongue. I'm not sitting here talking about how perfect it is. You did not hear me say that. I did not talk about how fabulous and extraordinary it is or anything like that. I just said it has some good characters, and you can kind of think about it while you drink. You can think on it while you're drinking on it. And for $8.99 a bottle, that there's a lot to be said there, you see. So you could really do some things with this. I'm not over here talking about how it's just the most fantastic scotch in the world, but I think it's better than Chivas Regal. You say, oh, I'm unsubscribing to your channel, fool. I paid $34.99 for Chivas Regal, and I didn't see that had too much going for it. It's so bland. It was so bland, and it tastes like cereal grain, and I was getting it right every time when I was doing taste challenges. And a few times I got it mixed up with some cheap scotch, and I couldn't even tell it apart. I was like, oh man, I paid $34.99 for this. This is not a good start. This is not a good start. You say, yeah, but Chivas Regal, Chivas Brothers makes 100 Pipers. And it's, yeah, right. And it's $8.99, and it's better than their flagship. So, hey, when your cheapo brand, you know, when your budget brand is better than your flagship, to me, that's not a good statement. Now, I know they got the Chivas Regal Extra. They got the 13-year age. They got the 18-year age. They've got a 25-year age. They've got even more. You could pay over $100, well over $100 with no effort and get some super deluxe Chivas Regal. Now, obviously, that would destroy this. But we're talking about its base model. And if the base model $34.99 is losing to an $8.99 economy brand, that's not good. But that being said, let's call it, I'm going to say this is Highland Mist. It's okay. It's not terrible. It's not like people will say, oh, it's horrible. It's rot gut. It tastes like airplane glue and rubber bands and a Band-Aid and chemicals. It's like, no, it doesn't taste like any of that. It's just dull, okay? Yeah, HM, Highland Mist. I mean, I got it now. I got the taste down in my head after the third tasting. So these taste challenges, I think I'm going to nail it every time until I get to ones that are really low grade, like the Piper Dino. But it's just going to be the same for the next 2 weeks. Like, yeah, that's Highland Mist. Is kind of bland. Oh, this is Cutty Sark. It kills it. Even Cutty Sark's not that good. But or this is Highland Mist. Oh yeah, that's J&B. Well, J&B will destroy it. That will be very bad. All right. Thanks for watching this video production. I'm going to turn on the news. Have a good Saturday. Go Tulane. Roll, wave, roll.